Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started.
Expeditionary learning is a unique and beautiful model.
Get it started.
It's about the whole child and educating the whole child.
Let's get it started.
Not just creating scholars, but creating students who are scholars with a sense of civic duty.
It's more challenging. You learn more by doing hands-on work, visual work.
If I had stayed at traditional high school, I would have dropped out. The only reason I'm graduating is because they pushed me.
Started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Thunder sounded like boom, crash, splunk, a lot.
Expeditionary learning is a design for whole school reform that is being successfully implemented in more than 150 schools in 30 states and D.C. It is a rigorous, comprehensive solution to the problems we face in education today. By test scores and many other measures, expeditionary learning schools are seeing real results. The World of Inquiry School in Rochester, New York, where 78% of children are eligible for free or reduced lunch, is the city's highest performing elementary school.
Do you have a special friend or teacher?
Across town, the Genesee Community Charter School is setting a national standard for quality in student project work. At the Odyssey School in Denver, students from kindergarten through 8th grade outperform district averages year after year. The Codman Academy Charter High School in Boston, Massachusetts has achieved a 100% college acceptance rate year after year.
The students believe in what we're doing. They've seen success. They know that the kids who've been here have gone on to college, and they see the power in it.
One of the best examples of expeditionary learning is King Middle School in Portland, Maine. At King, over a fourth of the students are foreign-born and speak 29 languages. Yet students consistently exceed state and district averages in every subject and at every grade level, making it one of the most desired schools in the state.
Anybody remember what an estuary is? It's where what meets what?
Rivers meet the ocean.
That's correct. It's where rivers meet the ocean.
In this 6th grade class, students are learning to be real scientists, with a mission to study, test, and help clean up Maine's endangered Presumpscot River.
The water's going to be against you. The current's going to be coming at you.
Expeditionary learning takes the core values of the Outdoor Wilderness Program, Outward Bound, where the focus is on learning by doing, and applies them to education.
There's an enterprising culture in an Outward Bound course where you're doing things you think are impossible. And when you do something that you think is impossible, it brings you into touch with values you didn't quite know you had.
Students embark on expeditions, long-term investigations of important questions and subjects that mirror real-world challenges.
Expeditionary learning challenges students to learn more and challenges students to develop interests and to pursue those interests. If a student discovers something, they never forget it. If they memorize it, they will forget it.
In this expedition, King students study the Presumpscot's history and natural habitat.
So everybody's got a test?
And work with teachers and outside experts to test and record the river's water quality.
All 3 parameters, pH, temperature, E. coli, each and every one of you do only at your site.
We're learning how to help the fish and the environment on the Presumpscot.
The RiverWorks project is a really fine example of engaging kids in interdisciplinary work in a way that connects what science and reading and writing really mean in the world. They're learning the same science as other kids in other middle schools are, but with an entirely different sense of purpose and a different rigor.
Yale schools are very rigorous academically, and the idea is to put together really important and difficult work with great joy in doing it, with engagement. It doesn't require rivers, it only requires a sense of going after things and discovering them.
A world away, in the urban neighborhood of Thornton, Colorado, the Mapleton Expeditionary School of the Arts, MESA, uses an arts-centered curriculum to engage its students. Mesa opened its doors in 2005 with a grant to expeditionary learning by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, with the goal of preparing students for college in underserved communities.
They put a lot of focus onto college and what we're supposed to do to get to it and achieve it, and it just changed everything. I've never been so prepared before.
Pull out your writing reflection I just scanned that.
Angel has always been a very focused and very committed student. But in most schools in America, the tasks that he's given to do are really low-level tasks. Expeditionary learning allows us to build the kind of lessons that really are going to engage kids regardless of what they walk in the door with.
All right, we got a full class, and we're going to take it to the end of the trimester studying World War II in a few different ways, Hitler Youth being one of those.
Expeditions are closely based on state standards and teach the skills students need to master.
Homework isn't that difficult, and you will be well prepped for field work.
But learning goes far beyond the textbook.
Field work is a significant component that engages students. We learn from the world around us in really authentic ways.
Do you see something in here that could be trauma? Yeah. Doesn't it look like they're operating?
I didn't think that I would like Mesa, but as my sophomore year progressed, I realized that I could open my mind to something that I wanted to do.
Every year there was a time where she said, you know what, I want to give up, I want to cash it in, I don't want to graduate high school, it's too hard for me, it's not worth it.
Having my teachers motivate me was an extra push for me to want to do better.
Welcome, ninth graders, thank you for joining our community meeting. We want to just remind
In an expeditionary learning school, students and teachers form strong relationships through weekly community meetings and daily crew meetings.
All right, so who's having a rough time with their math reflections? It's a lot of people, so we have a problem, right? We need to get those things done.
In ninth grade, I didn't really care. I was like, well, how is this ever gonna affect me? And when I started here at Mesa, I noticed that the teachers cared about you enough, they showed it.
What are some of the things that you've done to persevere?
And they wanted, you to be something. They told me pretty much that everything is possible if I just try hard enough.
Yako is a great example of someone who came to us with a heap of challenges. What Mesa gave Yako was a really tight set of relationships with kids and adults who were going to hold him accountable. It set some boundaries for him to know that what he did mattered. Our goal for today is to check in on this strategic plan and do some assessment.
Expeditionary learning begins with engaging and effective professional development.
We firmly believe in expeditionary learning, that good schools are good because of good teaching. And good teaching happens only when teachers are engaged over a long period of time in strong professional development, which can change and improve their practice. Start with your long-term targets. Give us kind of an overview.
School designers work closely with teachers and administrators to start a new school or transform an existing school from top to bottom.
Monday, you got the agenda, and really part of that agenda was spending some reflection time.
Coaching of teachers, coaching of principals, working directly with leadership teams in order to design and implement structures.
There is a culture of continuous improvement in that the EL school designer and the field director for EL are there to support the school and to measure improvement as we go through the year.
Teachers also receive extensive off-site training. They experience expeditions like this one on gold mining. From in-class work to field work at the Colorado Mining Museum, and a visit to a working mine in the Rocky Mountains, teachers are challenged to think and create just as their students are.
And that came right out of the standards. That's such a great experience for them to take back and think, this is what we can do with our students in our classrooms as well.
Originally, all our professional development was around project design and around expedition design. We then began offering institutes in literacy, institutes in reading and writing and math, institutes in assessment.
At the Odyssey School in Denver, one of the top 10 schools for student growth in Colorado, assessment is ongoing and integrated into every aspect of the curriculum.
All right, so I want to take a little time to frame your conversation today.
Here, these 7th and 8th grade students demonstrate what they've learned about ancient civilizations in Western Africa by taking part in a fishbowl discussion.
Each person had a character, and we had to interact with each other in a similar way as merchants would have had to back then.
I'm completely fine with paying taxes to be able to have protection.
Because of the location of the empire, we are in the perfect place to let people trade with each other.
A fishbowl is a way for kids to be able to hear other perspectives, to use information that they'd already synthesized.
To have us defend perspectives that weren't ours was very valuable to us.
The discussion helped me to see where kids might still have a little bit of a misperception. Are they generalizing from that, or are they kind of seeing how complex things are?
But the important part is this. Why is this good evidence? What expeditionary learning is trying to do is get all kids to a place. We call those learning targets. Name the place we want kids to get, the understanding we want them to have, the actual content knowledge we want them to have. And then as a teacher, my job is to scaffold really carefully a learning experience so that I can get all kids there.
Students at expeditionary learning schools are also taught to become leaders and responsible citizens.
When a student leaves Odyssey, they are students that can achieve as readers, writers, and thinkers, but they're also socially aware. They understand what it means to be a citizen and engaged in hard conversations, and that's what expeditionary learning helps foster.
Even though the Presumpscot has had its history of pollution, the water now is much cleaner. All the extra pulp from the paper mills.
Here, King students present their findings on the Presumpscot River to a panel of community and environmental leaders.
Every learning expedition winds up with a final product that is presented to an audience that goes beyond the classroom.
People have lots of great goals for the Presumpscot River. These goals can be achieved.
When they're producing something real and somebody real is waiting for that product, they take a lot more pride.
I think that I'm making a big impact helping people and helping the environment. So that makes me feel really good.
So we got some really exciting news this week about our Daniel Scholarship finalists. The first person I'd like to recognize is Angel Carvajal.
Angel won a prestigious 4-year full tuition scholarship to the University of Denver.
In my family, nobody else finished high school, so that was one of my main goals, do something better with my life and do it for my family, because they never could.
Could I have Bianca Sanchez come on down?
Bianca not only stayed in school, she excelled, gaining admission to the University of Colorado at Boulder.
Bianca wasn't the least bit convinced that she was going to make it through high school or go to college. We got a lot of 9th and 10th grade boys and girls who believe there's nothing better in store for them than dropping out of high school. And for them to be able to see a young woman like Bianca and say, I could do that, I could be that, that radically changes their understanding of what's possible.
In fact, all 44 seniors in Mesa's first graduating class not only made it through, they were all accepted into 4-year colleges.
The only reason I'm graduating or even getting accepted to college is because they pushed me.
First, I want to thank my mom for bringing me to this country and sacrificing so much for me. I want to thank Fabian for taking me in as his own son.
For us, there is no choice but to succeed, because the option of them not having a real chance to get to college, that's not an option we're willing to entertain.
Hey Michael, I see you back there. Do you see me up here? If you follow my footsteps, you will be here in 2 years.
Biggest success for me is looking at them and saying, okay, you didn't have it in the beginning. You killed yourself to get it done. You rose to the opportunity and really got it done in a phenomenal way. This is an allegory for what you can do in every facet of your life.
Looked back at 9th grade, and this isn't really anything to be proud of. So I wanted to leave myself something to be proud of, my mom something to be proud of, and my kids to tell them that, hey, everything's possible.